All right, we are live again, and in this live streaming, I want to talk about a photography concept called the studium, and the punctum, first introduced by Roland Barthes in 1980. So let me share my screen and show you what I'm talking about. Camera Lucida is a book by Roland Barthes that basically defines photography in terms of philosophy. It basically defines what photography is, right? It's the big book of photography definitions and stuff. And in this book, Roland introduces the concept of operator, spectator, and the spectrum, and lots of other things, including the studium and the punctum. To cut a long story short, I'll quickly define what the studium is and what the punctum is. The studium, as the name suggests, like studio, is a documentation of the image. Where this picture was taken, what is the shutter speed, was it cold, was it hot, what is this picture telling you? What is that picture about? Good pictures, good studium pictures are pictures that talks a lot. Kinda like this picture could be a video, like a small video. It has motion blur, it has lots of elements that indicates what this picture is. The punctum, on the other side, in my personal perspective, is what I call the photography's umami. You know the umami, the fifth flavor? The punctum is what touches you. Sometimes that person looking to the camera, sometimes a smile. Punctum are things that you take a picture, you print it or whatever. After you take the image, you look to it and you see something you hadn't seen when you took it. This is what I call punctum. There are lots of words to describe what these things are, but basically the studium is more contextualized about the picture, you know, it's contextualizing the picture, and the punctum is more intensive, it's what touches you. Turns out that last week my wife was running the New York City Marathon, and my friend Brian was there with his camera, and we met my wife on mile 5 in Brooklyn. New York City Marathon is one of the hardest majors, 42 kilometers. It's a lot. People do it in 5 hours, 6 hours. It's a whole event. It's very noisy in New York City. Brian was there with me on mile 5 in Brooklyn, and we were waiting for my wife to come. I was tracking her on Find My Friends and or using the Marathon app, and then she came. Until she came, we were there for like 15 minutes with the sign and everybody passing, and Brian started taking these pictures that I am going to show now during the encounter. So for those who don't know, when you meet someone running a marathon, you were frozen in a time window. You were delaying the person. You were making the person's time in the marathon runs for 1 or 2 minutes more, maybe less. This encounter lasted 25 seconds. We can actually see there's timestamps on the pictures. The first one was taken at where is the time? 12:24, and the last one was 12:24, 14 p.m. 12:24. Yeah, this encounter lasted 20 seconds, basically, right? And we were there, my son and I. My son with a sign he created, me with my camera doing what I always do. And then people running, and then nothing of mom so far. People running. Then someone appears. It's my wife. Look at her face. She saw us, right? So her name is Maisa, and she just saw us. And when you see someone in the marathon, it's the whole group of people around you starts saying, yeah, and it's a whole fest. It's amazing, right? And then she's probably saying like, my family's over there. And then it's my son and I. And then one more, Brian had his camera in burst mode. And then she comes. Open our wide arms. There's a hug coming ahead. And me, with the Voigtlander right there, taking lots of pictures on film. I got the Winder trigger to make it faster because my film camera is not automatic advancer like these Nikons. So I was like photographing and advancing the film. The studium right there is documenting what I always do for my family, taking pictures of them. And I'm going to go over the elements of this picture and show you every single studium element in this. There is, but before that, let me go through all the shots. It's like she comes and she hugs him, and then there he is. And I would like to stop in this specific picture here, because this one is the most impressive family moment ever that I had from my family, photographically speaking. It has me doing what I always do for my family, taking pictures of them. That's me. 90% of the time, that's what I'm doing with my family. It has the whole people running on the background with a very wise shutter speed choice. Brian chose to use 1 to 1/25 of a second. 1/125 of a second. If he had less time, meaning like 1/250, 1/500, 1/1000, he would freeze the whole scene, and that's not what we want, because we want to express that we are frozen in time, we are delaying the racer, we are delaying the runner, and the whole group, the whole marathon are running. You can see the blur. If he had chosen a 1/30 or 1/30 or 1/60 of a second, chances are that we would be blurred as well. So 1 to 125 was spot on. For that, he used ISO 4000, which is not a problem at all for the Leica Monochrom, and the f/16, because he also wanted the background as much in focus as possible. So now this is the studium. This is telling a lot about this picture. It is a 20-second window frozen in time, right? With the world happening, a fast world happening behind us. There are lots of runners. It is contextualizing. This is the New York City Marathon. There is me taking the picture of my family. There is the smile of my wife meeting, and her face when meeting my son. That's the punctum. You see, it makes me emotional right now. That's the punctum. It's touching me. The happiness of this moment. There is the wedding ring. There is my son's headphones, because it's like ling, 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 very, very loud in the marathon with all the cowbells and stuff. There is the Mezinho thing, which is an internal joke of our family. There is a studium in there. Everything is in there. And that racer right in the middle, perfect family shot. Studium and punctum, 100% concepts from Camera Lucida from Roland Barthes defined in this book. This photo is 100% studium and 100% punctum, at least to me. So, with a very good photo like that, I exported as TIFF, and I used DxO FilmPack 8 because I want to do a Kodak Tri-X film simulation out of this. Let me do a 1:1 zoom, and let me do the original. This is the original. You see no grain. You see a sanitized, very clean digital file, right? This came from the Leica Monochrom. This is with the DxO FilmPack 8 film simulation for Kodak Tri-X, which this is what I'm gonna print. So I have a printer cam right here, and I'm going to open my Canon layout and professional print and layout software, and I exported that TIFF with the Kodak Tri-X film emulation. And let's print this picture. So this software, professional print and layout by Canon, allows me to specify the paper type, the size of this paper. I'm going to print in an A3 Plus. To give you an idea of what an A3 Plus looks like in terms of size, let me put my gloves and let me get the one paper. This is the A3 Plus. Let me put the full screen here. All right. And this paper, it's a thick paper. It's fine art. It's fine art paper. So let's print this one. I always use gloves because I don't want to damage the paper with my fat fingers. Now, because I'm printing A3 Plus and this matte fine art paper, this paper absorbs lots of ink. And because of that, Canon forces me to use the margin 25. The margin 25 will add margins on the left and right side and a little bit on the top and bottom, because with the printing car going back and forth, and the amount of ink that this paper absorbs, it becomes abrasive. And then the car passing left and right can trip on the paper and damage things. So it forces me to add a border. I am adding this border. It's already set. I have the borders set here to 25, 25. I'm gonna put 25 for everybody. So 25, 25, 25. Oh shit, 25, 25, 25, and 25. So I have the same amount of border, top, down, left, right. I already have things set up here, and I'm going to print. All right, now my computer is sending the printing job to the camera. This is a TIFF file, and this TIFF file has, let me see the file size, 122 megabytes. So right now it's probably waking up the printer and sending data to the printer. Right, let me go on the printer and see if there is a button or anything I can press. Processing. The little screen says processing. This is the paper I am using. And I loaded the paper on the back side of the printer. So right now it is getting it and it's gonna print that. When it comes out of from the printer, I'm gonna show to the camera here. Hello chat. That's my record. 6 people watching. Thank you so much. Hi Angela, Jazz, Valmir, Ricardo, Justin, and Scott. That means the world to me. Wow. It's now printing on this super cool fine art paper. Meanwhile, let me do this and talk about some elements here on my right sidebar, because I choose the paper type, and each paper has a different ICC profile, meaning color management. I'm using Canon paper, which I already have an ICC profile. So if I scroll down here to color, there is color management, use ICC profile, and then I specify the paper type. That's because different papers have different colors, and they render the colors, the pigments put on them differently. Also, different paper, it's important to specify the paper type because luster papers, they absorb less ink than matte papers, fine art papers. These absorb more ink, so the printer needs to manage that and put more ink. Right, so paper is set, the margins are set, I'm using 25 squared. Now I need to go to the printer and press a button that will accept the printing job. All right, I just pressed start print. I printed recently, so no agitation, ink agitation is needed, because an interesting thing these printers do when you don't print for a while, like a week, it keeps agitating the inks, and the printing head goes left and right to agitate. This printer is so big to my desk that it shakes the whole desk. So it is printing right now as we speak. So what do you think about this picture? For the ones who arrived now, I'm showing a picture that I am printing that was taken from my friend's camera, Brian. Thank you very much, Brian, for that. And initially I talked about how this print communicates with concepts from Roland Barthes from 1980, from a book he created called Camera Lucida, which, guess what? Translates to Camera Clara. The punctum and the studium is what I talked about. The studium is what contextualizes the picture, and the punctum is what touches you on that picture. And this is the picture I am printing. It is about the marathon. It is perfectly executed by my friend Brian. It shows people running on the background. It shows happiness on the family moment of my wife, her happiness when seeing us running the New York City Marathon. It has the sign my son did with his handwriting. It has his perfect hands and fingers. It has his elements in his backpack, the toys he wants. It has the wedding ring. It has my wife's with her AirPods running the marathon. It has his headphones because it's a very noisy environment. It has me doing what I always do for my family, which is photographing them constantly 24/7. It has the whole wave of runners running on the background, not very out of focus. Brian used f/16, so it got them in focus as well. And Brian also used a very smart shutter speed of 1 to 125. If he had gone slower, we could be blurred. If he had gone faster with a shorter shutter speed, we could have gone all frozen and he would not capture the movement on the background. It's a perfect shot, lots of studium, lots of punctum. And I moved this picture to the DxO FilmPack 8 and I'm using a Kodak Tri-X film simulation that looks like this, with the grain and the more contrast. The original is like that. And this is the picture that we are right now printing. So my printer is printing that and I already can see it coming out beautiful. As soon as it come out, I'm gonna change to the full screen webcam, show that, and show the details as well, because I think it's important. The paper I'm using for that is the Premium Fine Art Smooth, and this is the paper size. I'm a big boy, so it's a pretty big paper. When I am running the New York City Marathon, Andrea, probably never. Like, my knee is gonna kill me. My knee is gonna kill me, and I honestly don't know if I'm capable of that. I run 5Ks. You know, I was overweight, and I'm starting with that exercising thing, and I'm running 5Ks now, and I'm already like paying all my scenes when I'm running the 5K. So I honestly don't know if I'm possible to run a marathon. I don't want to say never, but it's gonna take a while, probably more than 2 years. Meanwhile, I try to photograph and document the process as much as possible. Now that energy, that moment, you see things coming out from the printer with that quality. This is such a nice thing about printing, you know, when you see the physical realization of something. And it is not a film. This one was not taken on film, but we did some software trickery to make it look like film. You can't have everything. And I think that in this specific case, we benefited from having a camera's burst mode, right? Because it's a moment that there's other pictures that were taken, and you can see the other ones were also good, right? This one was good. This one is good. This one is good. Like I took film. Like this camera is a film camera. And I took many. I'm going to develop them and see the photo of the photo. Probably what I'm gonna do is print the other one as well that I took on film and put them side by side on the same frame. And that's another interesting thing you can do with printing. If you want to print big things and your printer only goes to A3+, print 2 and put them and combine them in a big frame, right? Or 4 and combine them on a very big frame. You can make big things even if you have a small printer, and that concept applies if you have a printer that does letter size. If you have a printer that is not, so doesn't print A3. This is A3+. It's a little bigger than A3, and it's coming out beautifully. After it comes out, I'm gonna let it rest for maybe 40 seconds because it absorbs so much ink. Right? Let me actually open a little because I don't want this falling on the floor. there is a little extra tongue in there to hold it. And I'm doing the margin 25. 25 means 25 millimeters or 2.5 centimeters. Left and right, top and bottom. And this will go to a passepartout that I have here. I only have letter sized. And then I'm gonna frame that and put on my wall, because that's a family moment full of studium and punctum that I had someone photographing for me, and I am very kind to have Brian doing that. So yeah, I have a private comment here from Scott saying, great shot of your wife, and she's a hero for running that thing, or crazy. I honestly think it's crazy, because you can also do that, you know, without spending the money and the time and the energy, like. But I get it. Like, if it wasn't for the marathon, we would not have that moment, right? So I can't wait to have that out of the printer and showing on the full screen webcam, because the full screen webcam has a way better quality than this. This is like the printing camera, and it's almost there. It's almost there. You can see it takes a while. It takes like lots of ink, and it takes maybe 5 minutes to print that. All right, it is done. I'm gonna let it rest for a bit, and meanwhile, let me see my ink levels. Canon somewhere. If I type here Canon print, it has a software that shows me ink levels. So, okay, pretty good. I have one of each spare, so I can replace if it runs out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inks. This printer uses 10 inks. And one important thing for the Canon ProGraph 310 is the amount of inks dedicated for blacks. So it has 1, 2, 3 inks that are just for tones of black. That's why I got this printer, and that's why I love printing black and white with it. So it's already there. Now it's a big time. Let's see. I'm even gonna pause the music because like there's too much trumpet, or at least reduce the volume. Let me get it. Oh my god. Let me put the microphone on the side. Isn't it beautiful to see it like that? Now let me change the focus of the camera and show you some details. Isn't it nice? How about that? I hope you enjoyed watching this live stream. There's gonna be a post about it soon. And I hope you liked the story about this photo, how it was made. And this one is not gonna be available for sale. Thanks for joining, and see you on the next live streaming. And also let me know what do you think about this live streaming quick episodes that I think I took 25 minutes of your time. I hope it was worth it. Bye. Music is everywhere, and see you on the next one.